Hey guys, Matt here. So today is June 29th, 25. Got back from the Wooden Boat Show yesterday. That was pretty cool. Wasn't as busy as it was last year. Good experience. Kids loved it. I always love seeing all the old ships and boats and whatnot. So I have a little bit of a conundrum here. You can see these are all good, but I have 4 more lozenges to do here. And then I've got dowels to put in here, so I need epoxy. Well, the problem is I have very little silica thickener left. I placed an order last night for more, but I really want to get this done so I can get these frames in. So, there's something I've been curious about for a while, and that is perlite. And you can see, kind of like silica, it's a white stone powder. This, I believe, is superheated volcanic glass that's pulverized and then turned into this powder. And fumed silica is a similar thing, but with silica stone. So I figure that will probably be okay for epoxy filler, but what we're going to do is we're going to test that out. And then I also have a bit of wood flour. All this is just ultrafine sawdust. I banged out the filter of my dust collection vacuum down in the shop, and then I screened the results. So it's window screen mesh screened, so there's nothing larger than the squares in a window screen there. So we're gonna try, I'm gonna do 1 pump of each, and we'll put a little bit in that container, a little bit in that container. We'll mix perlite into one, wood dust into the other, and then I have 4 little pieces of wood here that we'll just glue together, and we'll kind of fillet corners, and we'll just let that dry and cure and see what we come up with. I am worried with the wood fiber that the particle size might be a little bit large for a lot of things. I think for the lozenges it should be fine, but I don't know. I'm gonna need to get more of this epoxy too. I was thinking about maybe going with the cheaper 5-to-1 stuff. However, I really don't feel like dealing with amine blush for what we're doing here. This high performance stuff doesn't do the amine blush. It's about 20 bucks more expensive per gallon, but to not have to deal with that nonsense is worth it in my book. All right, I'll pour off about half of that into here. Sure. That's perlite. Okay, seeming to mix in fine. Alright, that's fairly thickened up. It looks like it was mixed with stone dust, honestly. It's a very white looking powder out of the container. It's fairly thick. Filleting, fill some end grain there. Alright, so there's our perlite one. Yeah, and if I can make this work, especially with the wood fiber, that'll be great, because the silica is like 25 bucks for 5 quarts, and it goes quick. Alright. Let's get this wood pulp in there. Sprayer. And this actually spreads on smoother than I thought it would. Of course, as I said, you can see how large the particulate size is. And I think the good thing about the wood here is that I can customize it to whatever wood I'm using. So if I'm doing cedar or pine or oak or whatever else I'm using, little radius fillet here. See how that goes. Man, I think for like a wood filler putty, this is... Alright, and there we go. Here's at the volume-wise, the wood powder certainly stretches the epoxy further than the perlite. So we'll just tuck these guys up underneath the steps here, out of harm's way, and then come back in a few hours and see what the results are. Alright, it's a few hours later. That wood dust putty looks good. I'll bet that's very sandable too. And the perlite also looks pretty good. So once these fully set up, we'll do some destructive testing on these. All right, destructive testing of these new epoxy methods. Start with perlite. That's a bluestone step. That's a hammer. A bit of cracking. There we go. The wood gave way before the epoxy did. So that's perlite. Here's wood. On this one with the wood sawdust, looks like we didn't get as much adherence into the wood itself. Seems like the penetration was better on the perlite. Still not bad. It's a little bit... It might not have been set up fully and properly, but there we go, destructive testing. I'm not going to use the wood dust for anything that requires fill out in any tightly toleranced areas, such as lozenges and other things of that nature, but I think this will work well for just filling in like gaps on the inside of the planks, things like that, especially if I pre-coat with unthicken before applying this putty. So yeah, nice. Hey guys, a few weeks after the filming of that stuff, but I just wanted to do a little addendum. We ended up using the perlite combined with the remainder of that silica thickener that I had, and I'd say to no ill effect. You kind of see the difference. It's more translucent with just the silica, and then with it was probably about a 50-50 mix. But you can see we got good fill out. There was no issue with anything hardening up, and it looks great. So perlite as a epoxy thickening agent, at least in combination with your silica, seems to work great. All right guys, stay tuned. Fairly soon here we are going to have the July monthly update, and sometime after that we'll get a video produced on how I get to this point where once there was a butt block, there is now just a solid piece of wood. But stay tuned for that. Don't forget to check out the links down below. We got Patreon if you want to support this project. It would be greatly appreciated because we're short on cash. I'll just be honest with you. If you need anything like epoxy or silica thickener, anything like that, click on that Total Boat affiliate link down below. You save 5%. The boat gets a little kickback and it works out well. Anyway, guys, I will catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Take care.